about how we
there we go. Yeah, maybe you should.
How we should have been getting lucky last night and stuff. And instead, it was like fucking drunk ass, like fucking ended up crying about some shit.
Oh no, really?
Oh, her buddy's.
Nah.
Her buddy is.
It's
legit dying of cancer.
It's live streaming, just so you know.
Oh man.
So it's like I don't blame her, but at the same time,
Please touch it.
Please touch
at the same time. Come on.
Like you've been in that scenario, I'm
Just
sure, where
once.
you're like you're comforting your.
I am
lady,
horrible
and it's
at
like
comforting people who need to be comforted.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I'm really bad at
I just
empathy.
don't. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
I am.
I can
Yeah.
have.
I think both of you guys are worse than I am.
I can have. Like I can understand.
Like, can I hire somebody to hug this person right now and listen to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my emotional.
service?
I think my EQ is lower than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I think. I really do. Shall we?
Yeah.
Good morning. What a way to start.
We're talking about Jake's EQ. What's your EQ, folks?
Oh, I'm always panned right down the middle, heavy bass, mids right about in the middle. Hear the treble just enough.
I don't think that's.
I like the bass to feel.
I don't think that's what
That's
that
not
is.
really what
No?
we're talking about.
He doesn't even know. That tells you.
that
yeah.
tells you right there.
That's Jake deflecting on
I'm
the
a
emotional
hi-fi guy.
conversation every time.
I'm an analog guy. Oh, no, I got you.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about time change because Ira showed up thinking he was on time, fresh faced, bushy tailed, and Aaron and I were here 30 minutes prior.
mhm.
There was a confusion on the group text and the time change, so I don't think the stars were aligned for us to be successful today.
No, I woke up feeling. I was like, man, it doesn't feel like I got enough sleep. And then, sure enough,
Sure enough, you
It's
didn't.
like, well, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, my I have a clock next to my bed, and then I have my phone. And my phone I use as my alarm clock, obviously. But the clock is just there for show, I guess. I don't know. And my
Yeah,
phone
isn't that
started
weird?
going off. Yeah, and I looked at my.
I don't
I
have
was like,
one.
why is my phone alarm going off? And I looked at the clock, and it was like, it says it's a lot
Yeah.
fucking earlier than it actually is. And I was like, why is my phone going off at 6 a.m.? Oh yeah, that's right.
It's funny. I totally forgot the time had changed until I think when you showed up, we started talking about it.
Really?
I totally spaced it
Yeah.
because I'm used to. I have a pretty good biological clock or whatever. Not biological, internal clock.
The thing that tells you that
I'm
you
not
need
a
to have
lady.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm tired. I have a good internal clock, and I always pretty much wake up between 5:15 and 5:30 every day, regardless of alarm clock. About
Yeah.
5:25, I look at my phone,
Yeah, I kind of do too.
and today I did that, and it was past the time, but I don't set the alarm on the weekends. It was like 5:40. I was like, oh shit, I guess I overslept, so I get up. So I guess it was really 4:40.
it's one of the
Time
stupidest
is
things
relative, right?
that we do. Yeah, time is whatever.
Indeed.
I still have a really hard time wrapping my brain around that, as most people probably. But we have talked about it before.
Like
And you said the
quantum,
wave
quantum
thing, and you go
mechanics
through-
and shit. Yeah,
Anyway, what I was going to say was daylight savings time is so
Savings.
It's
stupid.
ridiculous.
It's not plural.
Daylight saving time.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
the fuck.
I guess
outta
it
here.
does.
It's not daylight savings time. It's
It's-
daylight savings.
Is that
Yeah,
one
you
of those
don't
things
save
that everybody
daylight
says wrong.
In
Then
your
Yes,
bank
it is.
account, I guess makes
is.
sense.
It is one of the things everybody says
It's
wrong.
daylight saving
Oh.
time because you're saving daylight.
It is. Yeah.
Damn it.
But everybody thinks savings and everybody says savings. Just like everybody says ATM machine.
right.
Oh yeah.
It's just, or,
FDC connection.
yeah. It's one of those things that, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like no parking anytime. Why anytime? Why just not no parking? Why do you have to put anytime?
If you don't have any other information on the sign.
You know what I mean? It's things like that. Where you look at it, you go, I guess we're not that smart.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, but it's Sunday. It's
And again,
no parking.
everyone bought toilet paper, so we're not that smart.
Damn.
Very true. Yeah.
Freaking out.
I've heard-
Coronavirus
Oh my
watch
God,
This is the
2020.
coronavirus episode for sure. COVID-19.
Yeah.
If you're really,
Yeah,
if you're really woke.
what if
about
we got
this shit.
quarantined for 2 weeks and we had to do a 2-week show?
Mhm.
the
I can
the
find
horror on your
No.
face. And Aaron was like,
Imagine
"Oh
that.
God,
We're just
I was
checking
stuck here
in.
with you motherfuckers." for
Well, I
2
would
weeks."
just
Checking
run
in
out of-
once an hour on the hour.
I'd run out of shit to say.
You know what I think is funny is everybody's freaking out about the food stuff, right? Like, oh my God, if I have to be stuck at home for 2 weeks, I'm looking at my pantry last night. I was like, there's stuff in here that I don't necessarily want to eat. Like, there's a whole sleeve of albacore tuna, right? And I don't hate tuna. It's just not the first thing on my list. But if I get stuck in my house for 2 weeks and it's eat this or you're going to not eat, I'm eating fucking tuna for a week, right?
Yeah,
So I
there's
started-
enough rice.
Yeah, for sure.
The shit in my
Refried beans, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I realized that if it gets me, it gets me. Whatever. That's a different topic.
Right.
But if I have to be in my house for 2 weeks and I didn't quote unquote plan ahead, Amazon is like 2 clicks away for a case of water and a couple sleeves of albacore, and you're good. Like, you're gonna be fine. Prime deliver me some dry goods.
Yeah.
I don't need to doomsday prep.
But what if
Unless the Amazon trucks
if they
can't get
shut
to my
that
house.
down?
No,
Exactly.
Amazon's not shutting down. If Amazon shuts down, we have way bigger problems than coronavirus. The whole world, the earth will
That's
stop
basically-
spinning on its
Yeah,
axis.
that thing that's holding
That's the
the
start of
world
the-
economy together.
Yeah. That's basically the beginning of.
But I had that thought. I was like, I guess I don't really need to go and buy a bunch of stuff. Let everybody
No.
kind of panic.
Yeah, I mean,
toilet paper and
It's-
people buying.
I mean, you better be quick on the click with. Ooh, I'm gonna
quick on the
Click
click.
on the click,
trademark,
that.
buddy.
You better be quick though, if that shit does happen to go buy stuff, because Amazon
Right.
will run out also. But you need to get that stuff and get it, But still,
People are selling toilet paper for like $60.
people are fucking.
Here's what you
stupid.
do.
like legit
Here's-
right now. If you
I
get
had
a-
this
People
thought.
are goddamn
It's not that big of a
stupid.
deal. You take your shadoobie, you jump up
Oh
real
my God.
quick, and you get in the shower.
If you run out of
Yeah.
TP,
and
you
you
shower
you
after
bend
you shit.
over, and
And
you
you
open
hose
up
off
your
your
ass
culo.
cheeks.
you just bidet that
And you
thing
let
right
the
in your own
bidet
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a bidet right there under
Yeah.
your nose
Hop out.
this whole time.
See, that's something we didn't rehearse, and we all know.
I love it.
Well,
We
that's just
just-
how it works.
That's why we have a show, because we are smarter than most people, and we're here to give you life
That's
advice.
right.
What else you
Yeah.
gotta do?
The rest of you losers out there don't have a podcast because you're dumb.
Yeah, there's 900,000 podcasts.
Yeah.
No one else has one.
Everybody does.
So what's new? What's going on this week? Anything exciting?
That's it. That's literally it. Like everybody's
change?
only talking about the COVID-19.
It is weird.
coronavirus thing.
The band is heading out on tour, and I have people
Nothing-
asking me like, "Are you still
nothing-
going?" I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, we're still going.
Yeah.
Are people going to come to shows? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if they were going to come anyway.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't
Right.
show up, we can blame the virus. We're like,
Traffic.
I guess it's because of the virus. Nobody came out.
Traffic has been amazing because no one's going to
Fucking
work.
right.
And
It's
shit.
been
Like, I
awesome.
showed up at the office on Friday, and it was me and like one other guy, and we're like, all right, well, sweet.
Traffic sucked for me. It was horrible.
You
Friday.
Well, you live down south now. That's
Yeah.
why.
In
you
the
live,
south.
you live
town.
where it takes the longest to get to.
It doesn't take that long. It's weird.
Depends on where you come from, I guess.
Yeah. I'm basically in South Hill. It's not deep in Graham.
That is
Yes,
weird,
but
though, 'cause I'm
Meridian
going
is
into-
a fucking parking lot.
If you leave early enough, it sucks.
I'm going into
it's
Bellevue
good.
and everything, and so traffic always sucks around there. But it was really good for me because that's weird that it was not good for you.
That is weird.
I don't know.
Was it good for you?
Country folks
for you.
don't care about all that.
I guess.
Because a country boy
About
will
all
survive.
that mess? No, I just got a
Country
flooded
boy will
backyard.
survive.
Oh,
I know that's
yeah.
not great pod. I got a flooded backyard from all this rain we've been having. It does not drain off. I'm gonna have to put doing some French drains or something this summer.
French drain time.
Gotta use,
Yeehaw!
you got to use that
Like the
rock.
white boy
underneath.
problems over here with the
I
French
know,
drains.
I'm telling you. I've been watching more YouTube videos on container houses again.
Yeah.
I have that design that I did where I drew that one up, that 3-story, and I'm looking at it like, maybe not today. Maybe not today.
What
but-
was the other one too?
soon enough.
The barn mansion.
The barn dominium. Those are cool too.
Condominium. Yeah.
I don't see. So here, I looked at both, and there's both options because I don't know that I would go if I went traditional. Again, this is like some Bob Vila talk. If I went traditional, I'd go craftsman though. I'd have somebody like design me a craftsman look on the outside, but in the inside it'd be completely like James Bond, high tech, super whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put any money into hardware because all that shit's going to go old, like TVs and things like that. You wouldn't spend a bunch of money on the newest TVs because they're always going to be running out.
True.
You'd spend money on infrastructure to be able to keep up with things as they change, so your house can stay.
Raceways and shit like that. So wiring and all that.
For sure. Or power hubs or whatever, that kind of stuff. Anyway. But I would do a Craftsman kind of thing. But if I didn't go with something traditional, it depends on where I'm at. Like if I have a mom who's sick and needs to live with me, then I'd go barn dominium kind of thing, because then you can build a huge 10,000 square foot thing for not that much per square foot on a big piece of land. If it's just my wife and I don't need that shit. That's way too much to heat and clean. So I'd probably go like container house and go smaller. So
I'm with you.
I got options, but I've been watching those videos more and more. Like some of those things, man, they can do a lot, and I'm pretty proud of my design. So
they're pretty crazy looking.
We're 9 minutes in, though. We're talking viruses and isolating yourself from humanity. So it's a normal week for us.
It's one of those things that on the Facebook community pages is once again, it's pretty hilarious.
Have you guys been watching
everybody is
people lose their goddamn mind,
everything, or have you?
No, I have not changed anything about my life.
One other, me either. But
I
so
haven't.
I was on that.
And I'm not trying to be arrogant. I just haven't changed anything. I clean stuff enough anyway. We wipe shit down anyway. I'm not going to go into a weird mode. Sorry,
the normal flu kills
2%
of people. This kills 3.5 to 4.
Okay,
that's the mortality rate, and it's like,
okay,
come on.
None of us
They're
are
like,
doctors.
but it's really contagious.
Yeah,
the mortality rate is 4%.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit how it's like something that kills 0.00002% of people is the most contagious thing on the planet, and everybody gets it.
Yeah,
this is horrible. It doesn't kill you. It makes you uncomfortable. For a week at the most.
14.
Christ.
Yeah.
And
no,
so
it is a bummer for people. Like the guy in my band's got some weird I shouldn't say, he's got some autoimmune stuff. So for people that have that are on immune suppressants and things like that
compromise.
I get that, right?
Sure, it's like that with anything.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, her mom, my first wife, she has some issues like that. So same idea. So my daughter's concerned for those people, elderly people that are sick already and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel for the rest of us, and I say, for lack of a better word, normal society, we're fine.
White people, you mean?
White, yes,
yeah,
of course.
It
was a dog whistle, but
also
thanks for bringing it down to everyone else's hearing.
Yeah. People are fucking losing.
I'm not saying I won't get it. I'm not saying that it won't go through our town.
Yeah.
It very well might and probably will. And guess what? Okay.
Yeah. It's just something to freak out about. The other thing to freak out about is somebody thought maybe there was a safe injection site coming to this town. And, there's that freak out thing again. And once again,
that's something Ira would put in there just to start a conversation. Are you sure that wasn't you?
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
I know.
Somebody
said they I didn't start it.
Eden clock.
But I commented.
Damn it, that's it.
He leaves town and leaves some shit behind. Like, I heard they're going to do a safe injection site. I'm moving to Graham.
I commented on it and then immediately said to myself, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't have time for this.
Yeah, this is going to be in the community page. Yeah, that's
dude.
That's a half a day
time commitment. That's a half a day worth of fucking Facebook
Good for
debating.
you.
Oh my God. I can't imagine. I look back.
Now
and
the
I'm
next
so
step
ashamed
is catching it before you comment.
Yeah.
For now, good job.
Exactly.
If you got paid for being a troll, that might be one thing.
I'm
you got that kind of time.
I know. I'm ashamed at how many Facebook debates I used to get into. I just think to myself, how much time did I waste?
Yeah.
God,
that's why I left in the first place.
Just like the coronavirus thing. Like I jumped on someone's case the other day because they were like, posting something about how fucking horrible it was and we better everyone be vigilant and watch out. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it kills old people.
Don't be stupid. Like
that was a
normal
thing to say, apparently.
Everything kills old people.
I was like, I mean, immune compromised old people, basically. And then like this friend of that friend was just like, well, I'm immune compromised. I have the heart condition. So like, what if I got it? And I was like,
and you're like, yeah, I met you. Fucking die. And then that's the end of that argument.
Why is it
that's the end of your day?
I kind of think like, if it were you guys though, if you were immune compromised and someone said, wouldn't you be like, yeah, it does. I mean, most people aren't like me.
Yeah.
I get that they're not worried about
Exactly.
it. I don't understand.
it's the
But
same
what about
thing.
me?
You
It's like
don't
I'm
have
not
yeah.
suggesting
all that
that you're
was a
horrible.
moment for me to tell you about my heart condition.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
I want, just so you know, I have a
think
heart condition, and
we
I
should just in order to save ourselves the problem and in the trouble, just line everybody up that has immune system.
Immune
I really
compromisation.
I haven't had a lot of sleep.
Yeah, I know.
If they're immune compromised, just line them all up and kill them all and just get it over with. Right?
Wow.
I had a feeling right when someone
I knew that's where he was headed. I was going to let him get there.
When a white guy says line him up,
Line 'em
like,
up.
well, I don't think we're going to line him up and give him a butterscotch candy.
The alarms are.
Yeah, wait a minute. Where's he going with this?
Yeah, I mean,
the other. So, in regards to the safe injection sites, to be specific, there's always the comment that they choose their way of life, and it's such a dick comment. I'm sorry if you say that. You got to think. Just hear me out.
That is
here.
a very interesting comment, because you see it all the time.
Well,
so people say the argument against having a safe injection site is because the people injecting are making a choice to do it, and so we shouldn't be providing them. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to provide good theater of radio here and explain the goddamn premise.
Yeah, sorry. That's again,
Jesus.
I'm
not
doing my job.
That,
I apologize. I'm really bad at that.
I'm just fucking with you.
In general, though, not just for that specific case, right? But just in general, whenever drugs get brought up, there's always
there always is.
Karen always pipes up and is like, "Well,
it's because
my uncle was."
That's how they sin. You know how we're not going to bring up how I sin, but I can't imagine how people do. They are so sick. Oh my God.
Unless you're famous.
That's gross.
If you're famous, then you go to rehab and everybody feels bad for you. If you're not famous, you're a loser and you're a piece of shit.
Totally.
Yeah. But
that's the weird. That's
you
the
choose.
That's
you
the weird
choose this
part.
way of life, and somehow, like all of us, it's like we've mentioned on here before. It's as if we know the drugs are out there, and we really want to take them. We really want to take those drugs, but we don't. Because we are so strong, and we have such willpower that we don't do it, and they just don't. It's like, no, you were never tempted to stick a needle in your arm. Yeah. That's never occurred to you. It's like people that are pastors hating on gay people. It's like all you got to do is just say no. It's like you aren't attracted to the same sex. So fuck off.
And it also doesn't, I mean, sometimes, but it generally doesn't start with somebody going from like walking down the street to then putting a needle in their arm.
You know what?
It doesn't go that way.
It's because they're not happy.
Yeah.
You dicks.
Yeah.
There is a Freakonomics podcast. Freakonomics guys did like a 3-part series, I want to say, on the opium, tragedy, whatever the hell it is. The opium epidemic. And it's pretty wild. They have some stories on there with some people that were like, this one guy was a fucking doctor, like still like going through his everyday life, like freaking, helping patients
doctoring.
Out. He was regularly doctoring and was on an amount of oxycodone that would fucking kill a horse.
Yeah.
Like every fucking day he had to have it. It was like fucking eating these fucking pills.
The human body's amazing. Like the tolerances.
And all it was like most of those people walking around the streets that are addicted to those.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking talk to it. Those pills are all because they went to the fucking dentist one time.
Yeah.
And got some shit done. Got themselves on a Percocet
for sure
prescription, and then we're like, I can't stop taking these.
They felt happier than they normally do.
Correct.
But you and I can go to the dentist and we can get Percocet and we can take them for a week or so, and then we can stop taking them. It's like no big deal.
I need to make an appointment.
Yeah.
No, I get your point. That's
a different fucking thing in your brain where you kind of go, I can't stop taking this. It's like,
you're both talking about the same thing, but from a different perspective. You have that ability to go take a few Percocet, let your dentist prescription expire, and you just go about your life. Ira, you're talking about people that are at a point in their life to where they get their state altered by something like that. They want to capture that because they're happier than they were. That kind of person is not Aaron's obviously happy and loves his life. But aside from that, even if he wasn't happy, Aaron doesn't have that same thing in his brain that wants to latch onto that as much. Maybe he does a little bit.
I know. Is that the same person, right?
So it's almost like you're both saying kind of the same thing, but nobody goes out of high school, I'm just going to stick this needle in my arm and see what happens. Like everybody kind of gets blindsided. Yeah. And there's so much blame all the way around. There's blame with parenting, there's blame with pharmaceutical industry, there's blame with doctors, there's so much blame that there's not any one thing you can say is here's how you solve it, here's the answer. It's a really kind of ball of yarn of everybody's problem, and good luck untangling it kind of thing. Here's the mess we have.
It just comes down to people that had it's walk in their shoes.
And then why do you think there's a homeless surge also at the same, in the same window of humanity's history? Like, duh.
Yeah,
fucking pay attention.
That too. That's a really easy thing to jump on. And
it's a hell of a correlation.
Well, I mean, maybe they should just pick themselves up by their bootstraps like I did. It's like, wait a fucking minute.
It's like
maybe it's more complicated than that. Dick.
Yeah, it's the highest depression, highest addiction, and we have the highest amount of homeless. Yeah. What do you think?
It's like a skinny guy, saying, "I just don't understand why they can't put down, just have one hamburger." Yeah, it's like, dude, I can eat. Jake I remember like I had 6,000 calories, while I was like a day while I was marathon training and stuff, and you're like, fuck you. But yeah, it's not fair. I can eat whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I was born this way, dude. I don't, and so what kind of a dick would I be, to just be like, I don't understand why you're fat. It's like, I don't watch my diet.
It's obvious. Yeah, it's very.
It was like 30 seconds so you could call me fat. Did you get that? It was like a 30-second wind around.
It's very convenient, right? And
this guy over here.
For somebody to be able to shed light on something that at least appears to be a strength in there, and then they can also shit on people that appear weak to them.
You should sin like me.
Oh, completely.
It's so silly because it's such a basic thing. Again, it goes back to like those. There's no real, we talk about religions, like if you distill everything down to the good parts of stuff, it's all kind of the same. Like just do good to people and whatever. It's the same. Like you get to the end of that argument, and that's really all it comes down to. Like with what you're getting at with all this addiction and stuff, it's like don't judge don't tell other people what they should do. Don't judge other people's experiences as your own through your own perspective. And just as long as they're not hurting you or going, just shut the fuck up. Yeah, and it's the most basic thing about society that we kind of lost a huge touch. It's one of my arguments too about having a two-party system and having to register is I'm not necessarily on either side of those things. And I'm not trying to make this political, but I'm very much on the side of you can call it libertarian, independent. That's the closest definition. I'm just the leave me the fuck alone guy, and I'll leave you alone also. And when it's time to chip in, everybody chip in. Like that's kind of how I feel. And I don't know that there's a party for that per se. But
no,
that's where really. That's where I find myself. It's
funny because that's how most people probably are.
Everybody chip in when it's time to chip in. Otherwise, leave me alone. And if we need to fix a road, we'll all chip in and fix a road. If we need to make our school better, we'll make our school better. The fire department needs a faster new fire truck. That's fine. Otherwise, fuck off.
Yeah, don't tell me I can't smoke flavored vape.
I don't know where exactly. I don't know where that party is, and I don't know how we ended up political.
How dare you, Jake? How dare you? You need to pick a team. So fuck off.
I don't get it.
You have to pick a team.
You have to vote.
You can't think like that.
I would pick that team if that was a team.
I know that's.
I don't know that that's a team.
Yeah, the fact that they make it is that really real? Like if you vote, no, I haven't voted. I don't know. But do they make you pick a party? I think I saw something online where you had to actually check the damn box. Like I am a Democrat or I am a Republican.
You did have to check the box for
bullshit is
the
that?
Primary.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
From what I understand, and I'm not a King County election official, but I understand that for the general election, it's not the same way.
Oh, okay.
For the primary's sake, something about they can ask you what party you're in because there were not Republican and Democratic primaries in the state. It was just Democratic primary because there's already a Republican nominee for the most part, or assumed nominee. I could be totally fucking this up, by the way. But the way I understand it is that because of that, they were asking who it was voting in basically the Democratic primary. Like, are you a Republican voting in the Democratic primary, or are you a Democrat?
Okay.
That's how I understood it to be.
It's like a census. They just want to know who.
But like anything else, a picture of someone's ballot goes around Facebook, and everybody's like, "How dare they ask? This is America."
Of course.
So
Yep.
people
I'm outraged about it.
got to get their pound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
they do. So, in other news,
Yeah.
race car stuff.
Yeah, is it the time?
Yeah, it is. Not specifically kids race car stuff. It's totally not what
Are
you thought.
buying a race car?
Not what you thought I was going to say. No, I would love to, but I listened to, because I don't read. I listened to an audiobook about James Hunt. And
is that Mike's brother? Sorry.
That's totally what I thought about too. I was thinking, oh, that's a
James Hunt.
It's too easy. Go ahead.
And Niki Lauda. 1976, I believe.
Mike
78, something like that.
Mike Hawk.
Good guy.
1976. Sorry.
Formula One.
Wasn't there just a movie about that?
Formula One
Was that
championship.
1919?
I don't know what any
Formula
of these
One.
jokes mean.
Is it a car movie thing?
Yes. So Formula One here in the States, we call it an Indy car, basically.
Is that
same
open
sort
wheel?
of design, open wheel.
See, I know some stuff.
There you go. Big old wing on the front, wing on the back.
I used to think that had something to do with the steering wheel, and then I figured out. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
I see. So the reason I bring it up is because you guys have to look up the legend of James Hunt. One of the two, James Hunt, was from Britain.
Okay.
Niki Lauda was from Austria. And it's known as the greatest championship run in Formula One history because of just what the season was like. Niki Lauda got in a
as opposed to all
accident.
the other known runs in Formula One
because
history?
he ended up, one of them, the winner ended up winning by 1 point. And Niki Lauda got in a horrible accident. I mean, burned himself. I mean, from head to toe, horrible. Went back like in 4 weeks or some shit and got in the car, like just fucking shit oozing out of his face, like complete misery.
Like if he would have
and
crashed
pain.
again, he'd have been dead.
Yeah, and he's driving one of the fastest cars on the planet. It's got to be physically demanding. As far as racing goes.
Yeah. That's what those people though. You get to that level, like they're not going to tell you no.
Dude, I know.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
Put me in the car.
They're not regular humans.
Yeah.
So that that in and of itself.
Is this on Netflix?
No, it's not. It was an audio.
Oh, that's
book.
right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, it was an audio book.
I did the same thing. I got an Audible membership.
Yeah.
Because I drive so much, and I listened to the Maynard James Keenan book.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah.
And now I've been listening to more of his, because I hear bits and pieces in the book. I'm like, oh, that's where that comes from. Then I hear that song. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I hear titles of songs and where things kind of come from. And
I got to listen to that.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
he's a fascinating character. But
yeah, the audiobook's a cool thing. Go ahead.
So the reason I bring this up,
yeah,
is because James Hunt,
other than a podcast,
the guy from
like this one that you should listen to first,
yeah,
and then audio.
Obviously, James Hunt, the guy from Britain, is a fucking legend. The guy, he first got the pole. So number one qualifier starts off in the front. high on cocaine.
All he says is he's a legend.
High on
first
cocaine.
got the pole. And I'm like, oh, it's like
he was
gay porn legend.
He was high on cocaine and most likely a little bit drunk from the night before.
You said British, right?
British.
Yeah. Okay. I assumed drunk from
this dude. He's like Magic Johnson. No. Who is the ultimate Laker? The guy who
Wilt Chamberlain?
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain.
Kobe Bryant. How dare
Wilt
you?
Chamberlain. What I'm talking about is numbers.
The guy that banged
of
10,000
ladies
women.
bedded.
Yeah. You're talking about Chamberlain.
Yeah. So that's the level that James Hunt is at. I mean, he was a hardcore alcoholic. Dude just drank his liver to oblivion. He died at like age 40.
You don't need a liver to drive, so it's fine.
Yeah. This guy, the championship, the race, end of the season. This is it. He's in the lead by 2 points, whatever it was. I mean, right there.
Yeah.
minutes before they're supposed to be in their cars ready to start this race. Somebody finds him in some room. It was in Japan. He's got some random hot Japanese chick, and she's blowing him. It was just like, holy shit!
This is like
dude.
the stuff that movies is, like the like an amazing
Ira's
Hollywood
like,
movie,
I
but it
picked
was
the
in real
wrong
life.
career.
Yeah,
He wouldn't, dude. He was off the rails.
I'm not really into racing enough to, but I mean, I like good stories. I would probably listen to that.
Yeah,
story.
it wasn't. The rest of the book wasn't great, and the
now
narrator,
it wasn't great.
I just said I was going to listen to it. And he's like, yeah, it wasn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Never mind.
That's why I haven't recommended. I didn't.
Thank you.
I didn't send you, guys. Oh, you got to listen to this because it was a little bit boring.
And the narrator was bad. Is that
The
what you're
only
saying?
thing that was incredible about it.
Are we switching from Misogyny Corner to Ira's Book Club?
I guess so.
I know.
It's
It was
taking a
just.
weird turn.
I'm just telling you, this guy. I just was surprised I never heard about him. I can't believe. You just can't believe all the shit that he did, constantly.
Because it's fiction.
It's not fiction. Yeah. So
You have to be
So
a
when
pretty
they
unique
race-
human being to
When
race
they
those
race
cars
in
anyway,
England, do
but-
they race on the other side of the road too?
oh man, that's a good question.
I actually wasn't being funny. I'm
They
just
don't-
totally curious.
They don't go the other.
There's not two different.
They
I mean-
take up the whole road and they only go the same direction.
Yeah. What are you talking
There's
about?
nobody
right now,
coming
Jake?
back the other way.
I mean, do they
Can you
just,
imagine if there was?
No, but like the English
Fucking-
NASCAR, do they just turn to the right and go right? the
Oh,
whole way?
only right. Well,
That's what I'm saying.
There is no.
They can
English
all still go
NASCAR, but-
one way.
The thing is, that's an American thing. Oval track is like exclusively
Yeah.
U.S. stuff.
'Cause
Nobody does
we're
that.
Too dumb. We have to go back to the same place, start in the
Yeah.
same place.
No, we're like, wait a minute, you're going to go left and right. We're getting lost on the way. There's trees out there. It ain't like it's all wide open.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh fuck!
That's a good point.
I just pictured him just going right all the time.
No.
No,
Yeah, in some of those tracks, the Nürburgring, stuff like that, pretty crazy. If you look up that track versus every other, it doesn't make any sense. It's like 3 times as long. It's incredibly dangerous.
you know, when I was
People,
a teenager, I thought Nürburgring and Rock am Ring were the same thing.
I'm not following.
I don't know what Rock am Ring is.
Nürburgring is a track, right?
Yes.
Okay. Rock am Ring is a rock festival that happens in Europe. Both things are in Europe, which are, in my mind, another planet. I've never been there.
Right.
So Nürburgring, Rock am Ring. I used to hear those when I was younger,
rings.
and I'm talking like 12 years old, younger, not like 25.
Up until a couple years ago,
Yeah.
I thought Nuremberg. It's like not only did they persecute the Nazis there,
Oh,
they also raced really fast cars.
Well, it's like when they
Nuremberg
build
trials.
Olympics, like when they build Olympics things in a country, they have to build them so they're multi-use for other things other than the Olympics. So that's what
True.
they did. The Nuremberg Ring trials. We built the track here too.
Yeah. After the trials are
right
over, we
outside the
can,
courthouse.
Over the dead bodies.
mhm.
Anyhow, but no, I used to think they're the same thing, but they're obviously very much not the same thing.
Very much not. The oval track thing, just that when the best crew chiefs are guys, they're the best in Formula One right now, came here and raced oval track. So he had to learn that way of racing. It's completely different. The way you set the car up, you have stagger.
Oh, yeah, I'm
where
sure.
the right side
Yeah, I'm
is
sure.
taller than the left. And so it's just other stuff that you have to think about. And so the Red Bull team, it's like the best. That guy raced
I
here.
get it. I've never been one to dedicate time to watching racing. Like, I understand.
Me neither.
I get it.
I used to hate NASCAR. Is not really that fun to watch.
I'm a competitive
not.
person. I don't personally. It seems interesting to me that those companies spend millions and millions of dollars to win by 6 inches.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It just seems like all that money poured into something for. I don't know. I don't make the connection to the thrill for me.
Oh, I know.
You know,
it
it's cool to see
be
a photo
so
finish.
fun.
It's cool to see somebody. I hate to say it's cool to see somebody crash as long as nobody dies.
Right.
It's always cool to see.
Sure.
Not in the kids, obviously, but the adults because they chose to be there.
Yeah.
It's not like when your parents force you to do it, like what you guys do with your kids. But I mean, it's exciting to watch, but I've never really like.
No, it's so fun.
I don't know who drives for what team.
No,
like,
no.
I have cousins that live in Indiana that know who's on what team, and like
it's a different thing.
It's
I don't different thing over there, dude. It's like football in Texas.
Shout out to Tell City.
Crazy. So no, but because I read another book and it was from that guy's. He wrote it, and it is absolutely crazy the lengths that they go to. I mean, completely reinventing everything. The way that the downforce.
Oh yeah.
How the air hits
and
the
those
car.
drivers. I mean,
it's like
they're
holy
all
shit,
beer drinking, whatever. But those drivers are all like athletes at the same time. It takes a lot to fight off forces of gravity and to fight off, constantly fighting the wheel and
they're smart.
Let alone strategy on how to maneuver the car through all that and not crash somebody else's investment.
And they're smart because they actually know what's going on with the car. They can communicate.
So it's pretty interesting. I'm still not going to watch.
Yeah, I know. It's not that fun to watch.
I'm not even going to watch the XFL. So
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
People are like, oh, you watch the Seattle
funny.
Dragons? No, I don't watch Seattle Dragons.
There was a guy in my
I don't.
office that showed up on Friday with the Seattle Dragons jersey on. I was like,
I get that people are trying to make it a thing, and I'll give them credit for that part.
Yeah,
it's just not a thing.
The other thing I think of when I see somebody in that scenario, I think you have that much disposable income, or you're that horrible with money that as soon as there's something like that comes up, you're like, I think I'll spend $80 on a
It's probably
jersey.
the second thing, but still, I wonder the same thing. And I always wonder the same thing during playoff times when they're like, oh, such and such team made the playoffs and all the fans are at the airport. I'm like, how the fuck do you people get to do that? I wonder the same thing every time I see it.
How do you have time?
Are you all just quitting your jobs and just rolling the dice? Like, what happens if your team goes all the way and you max your credit card out to see it? Is that worth seeing to then have to deal with the repercussions of paying it off and maintaining employment?
It's memories and it's
Am
happiness.
I just that much of an old man? I hate
are.
racing and that.
I
don't get it.
It's happiness. It's true memories, Jake.
Now, if you're rich or if you're like self-employed and you have the money and you can do that without jeopardizing your fucking go to every game. Go to every game.
But when you see the average Joe Blow,
and
you're like, I know you don't have that.
Or
money.
like the Seahawks landed last night after their trip to whatever.
Yeah, and so and
the 12s are at the airport, and there's like all these people out there at 3 a.m. Like, go to work, you losers! What are you doing? I don't understand it.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be me.
And I'm sure some of those people go to work, and they go to work tired, and they're like, everyone at work knows them as the dedicated Seahawks fan. I get it. I've just never been that passionate about.
Like the dude,
any one thing like that to do. I've never waited
pick up around
at night in line for shit. I've never slept on, never. Ever.
Here in Enumclaw that has a Seahawks wrap on his fucking pickup.
Oh yeah,
that is dude, you're that guy, huh?
Yeah,
you're that. Hey, I guess everybody knows you as that guy, right?
Wait till they're 6 and 10.
That's
and Wilson doesn't play there anymore.
That might be
sell that.
He's towing the line on mental illness.
Yes,
it's gotta be
1000%.
It's very much an identity that you have to get into, like the Freudian identity stuff. And
it's an obsession.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be obsessed with curing cancer. And once again, maybe this is
obsession of any kind can be bad, but if it's for a positive thing, it gets justified.
Right.
But the way you go about it is the same thing.
Right. But all the greatest people in history that changed the world were probably obsessed.
The way that you obsess is the same, whether it's a positive or negative obsession. The method of process of obsession is the same.
But I would say it's probably not healthy to be obsessed with those guys wearing that color shirt. That's crossing that line.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ball,
are you bringing anything
dude,
to
at the
are
end
you
of the
giving
day?
Yeah,
I love football as much as the next guy. Hey, let's get together. Let's eat some wings and drink some beer and fucking.
For sure,
dude, I fucking love it. But let's not fool ourselves too much.
It's
what
my
it is
stupid.
that we're watching here.
It's funny though because when you distill it down, back to we're simplifying everything, but when you distill it down, that tribalism is the same exact thing as the people that are anti-religion, are not anti-religion, but anti like Muslim or anti-gay or anti. It's the same thing. It's like, this is my team, that's your team. Yep. We have the ball. We're here's our agenda. Mitch McConnell's not going to give time to this and this and this, and here's our
Democrat Republican thing. Like which team are you on, man? Are you a Democrat? It's like
AFC or NFC? Which one?
Doug Stanhope does the greatest. He does the greatest bit about that. He's like, I like football. Okay, yeah. And you're all judging me. Okay, you do some stupid shit too. All right, you go and learn French so you can go or speak Italian, and you go and you can order something in Italian from the waiter at the Olive Garden looks at you like you're retarded, and he's like, this is my thing. And so I sit there on my couch and I fantasize. I fantasize about running down there and
he has this whole like gay sex thing that he goes into,
watching the football players, and they're bent over
I think
with those pants,
grabbing a hold of like the running back, and
then
he goes full hog too, because then he's talking about
he
Stanhope
keeps
is
going and keeps going, and you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. It is the funniest shit. And he says it. He runs out onto the field, and he's got a robe and one of those like 1800s nightcap things flapping in the wind, and my boner is just flopping back and forth as I run out there, and I've got flip-flops on, and they make me run really stupid, the way he's like, this is my fantasy, you make up your own stupid shit, but this is what I want. And he just talks about making gay love,
like that's why he likes football.
Yeah, oh my god,
no, it's fucking amazing.
It's called he's like, I have fantasy AIDS football. This was so irresponsible of me. I don't know this guy. I don't know where he's been. So just look up on YouTube, Doug Stanhope football, and don't listen to it in mixed company. Not safe for work.
People would think you're weird.
It is raunchy.
Or it's always funny too when people are on the phone in their car and they're in a parking lot and they're stopped and they don't get out of the car because they're still on the call. Mm-hmm. But it's quiet outside the car, and you can hear the entire car.
Oh yeah.
So don't listen to Stanhope really outside loud. Your parents' house. So you pull up,
right,
and you think they can't hear you, and you're in your car laughing, and they hear you through the thin ass Chevy doors.
A dude bent over with dreadlocks, and you're pushing your dick down and doing that thing like they do in pornos.
Oh my god. No, Stanhope is one of those guys that is quietly like David Tell. Mm-hmm. Just decade after decade, just kills. Tours enough, makes money, has his own little comfortable life, and just murders all the time.
Yeah,
there's something about his deliveries. He's really smart. You can tell he's really smart. Just the way his timing is, it's like, holy shit, he cracks me. He's definitely one of my all-time favorites for sure. We're supposed to talk about something. We had a request.
We did?
Yeah, shit, I didn't tell you guys. You should have prepared.
Uh-oh.
It's about breaking up.
I'm better when I don't prepare.
Breaking up is hard to do.
It is hard to do. Somebody asked
me. From a friend?
No, it is. Yeah. I promise, it really is.
From a friend.
Just
asking for a friend.
How do young people?
Signed John Doe.
Young people. We're talking young people. No kids. This isn't marriage. It's
young people, like 20s young people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they're adults. Maybe they've been in a relationship for a year or two. And it's
how do they
break up? It's
how should they break up?
Yeah.
That's an open.
And what
that's
to do?
That's an open.
So
question.
you have a young like an exennial or whatever they call it, right? Generation
you got
Z.
You got to paint me a picture here. Like, what are they?
And they're in a relationship.
Give me context.
The guy is going, I have to break this off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And he's got to get out of this relationship, but he doesn't quite know how.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of
they've been together.
Are they living? There are feelings here.
Are they living together?
No, this is very young. Just think high school, something like that.
But a 2-year relationship?
Let's say more like one.
Okay, so a 1-year relationship.
Yeah, I suppose those two things are pretty different.
Okay.
1 and 2.
1 and 2 is pretty.
Yeah.
So when you're not,
yeah. So it's the feelings. A lot of times you you start the process thinking this is going to be somewhat simple, easy for me as far as emotionally goes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get hit with a sledgehammer of like, oh no. All of a sudden, you wonder if you made the right decision. You feel like you're going to miss her. You get all these feelings like she's going to be with somebody else. Maybe she did hang out with somebody else. And now you're like, oh no.
Send a text and leave town.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think do you play games?
Maybe I'm overthinking. Are you asking me with 40-year-old brain to answer that? Or are you asking me what would I do when I was 20?
If there was a 20-year-old sitting right here in front of us, what would
we
we
tell him
to do?
Have the hard conversation and just sit down and just be super honest. Go, I can't be with you for whatever reason, and then take whatever feedback they have, take it as positive as you can take it, and move on with your life, and do not contact that person again. That's how you do it.
You have to.
That's the healthy way to do it.
Yeah, you have to be willing to have those hard conversations in person.
Yep.
Because it helps you grow as a person, and it's not the last conversation.
Don't send an email. Don't send a text. Don't have any other weird vicarious way of doing it. Have the conversation and take whatever feedback that they have. Don't say your piece and then bounce. Give them time to say their piece, because you're going to probably blindside them unless they know it's coming. So you're going to blindside them. Give them time to at least on the surface process it a little bit and retort back with something and take it honestly, even if you don't agree with it. And then move on with your life.
What are some of the things that you would say? Can you think of any specifics? I mean, you don't really want to
I'm breaking
apologize.
Up?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Right.
It depends. I mean, depends on what it's for. Why'd you fuck that guy? Or is it like,
no.
I just can't be with you anymore?
Yeah, maybe there's just a lot of drama in the way of arguing and just being needy and being.
I think if you're 1 year in, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're 1 year in and you're in your 20s and there's that much turmoil, you're both aware. Like, you should both know. Like, nobody's going to be like, what? I didn't know there was a problem. They shouldn't, at least.
Yeah, maybe, unless
if so, then you have a bigger conversation to have.
Yeah.
But you both probably in that case are aware that there's drama, and you're like, yeah, you know what? There shouldn't be this much drama for a year in, and for as much time as we spend together, we should be having happier, like this should be clicking easier, and it just doesn't seem like it is. And I don't think this is worth investing any more time into.
Yeah, like there are certain personalities that meld well, that mesh well together, and that can go through life and be successful together. And then there are other personalities that definitely don't.
Yeah, you just gotta
really butt heads, and
you got to be able to say, look, we're just this doesn't make you a bad person.
No,
we don't mesh
you
well.
Me specifically,
there's somebody else out there who you would get along with great. It ain't me.
Don't you remember being younger and older guys would always tell you, like when you talk with old timers about whatever, they always tell you find somebody that you can just function with once everything else kind of goes away. Because, and I never really understood. I mean, you understand it on the conceptual level, but when you're younger and you're banging all the time, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what, But as you go through life, and I'm not, this isn't even a personal story. As you go through life and you have different relationships, and when you finally get married, and hopefully the first time you get married, it works for you and whatever, and you're going through life that way, you start to realize what that actually means. The day-to-day functioning in a relationship with somebody, the day-to-day, like who buys the toilet paper to who gets the remote to who sits where, like some of those things are more important than people realize in interacting. And the sex and the going out and the shared interests in music or whatever can sometimes mask that and prolong the inevitable shit. This doesn't work out because you don't realize underlying that other stuff is there because you're masking it with all the other kind of, filler, whatever you want to call it. So if you can have that conversation and say, look, this underlying day-to-day part is the thing that's not working out. And if you can let that person know that that's why it's not working out, then I think you have a clean enough break where you can be clean in your conscience that you said what you can say, and it's up to them how they take it, I guess.
And then maybe you have to go
a long way around, but that's
right now. And maybe you have to, well, obviously you've got to block block them from being able to contact you.
Yeah.
Right. I
Do
mean,
the
and
responsible
that's not,
thing. Block the
you're
social.
not trying
yeah.
to be mean.
That's what I was just going to say. It has to be, you have to go all in 100% and be committed to like, this is where the conversation's going, and don't let it derail, and just go, okay, no, I've made my decision and now this is done.
And then don't
if
talk
you start
shit.
apologizing and saying shit like that, then it's like now you're opening it up to, okay, well, maybe we can just, take a little break.
Don't do that.
It's like, or you have
don't
to
ever do
completely commit. Like, I'm out of there. I'm out of here. I'm fucking out of here.
And if you're not sure that you need to be out of there, then stick around for a while and keep looking for other things and reasons why, because maybe you haven't found your chemistry. But if you don't think there's a way out at all, then you got to go.
It's like firing somebody.
Correct.
Like, can you imagine sitting down across the table from an employee and you have to fire them, but then at the end of the conversation, you're like, well, okay, well, maybe we can keep you on.
Maybe you can work on
like,
Fridays.
No,
no, you can't.
No, you committed to it. You have to, it's gonna be painful, and it's
turn
in
your
shitty.
badge, turn in your key card.
Yeah, this is something that's a conversation that happens in person that you have to have, and you have to be committed to it, and you have to get to the end of that conversation. And it's got to, you going this way and I'm going that way.
And if that person has any semblance of fill in the blank, they'll respect you more for it when it's done, and you will feel more confident about yourself, like Aaron said, to where you find yourself in that situation next time. A, you're not going to hesitate if you know that that's really the direction it has to go, and B, you're not going to struggle for like, oh shit, how do I say what do I say? You're going to know kind of where you got to be, and you're going to be able to have better, healthier relationships because you're going to know what I think works for you, and not in a selfish way, but you're going to be able to identify unhealthy or bad fits earlier and often than if you stay in something because you don't know how to get out of it, I guess.
Yeah. And here's something that also came to mind. I would tell my closest friends, I don't want to know what she's up to.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
You can't have friends
like, oh my God, you'd never guess who I saw her with at so and so.
Nope.
Like, don't care.
And he probably banged her, and in your mind you're like,
no.
I wonder if he was better than me. And here
it gets tricky if you have the same friend
in
groups.
your head.
Yeah. You have to either not have those friend groups or make it clear to those people.
Anybody who maybe on social media, especially with the younger generation, is it's such a big, it's a bigger part of their lives than it is for us. Yeah. I would say you have to go through
block everywhere.
Anyone who's just, be honest with yourself. If they're really not your friend and they're more her friend, block them.
Why do you interact with that person?
And
is it because you met them on? Yeah,
right. What are they going to do? Are they going to find you in person and go, "How dare you?" No, you say, "Look, really,
look. If it's that important, if it's
that
important to you, put up a post. Put up one post.
Sure.
Look, going through a tough time. We all have some shared friends. Nobody's asking anybody to pick sides. You do your thing, I do mine. We all have shared interests, whatever, like something diplomatic. You don't have to, there doesn't have to be a line in the sand other than between you and that person. There has to be a healthy line in the sand.
Yeah. And it just, in general, you have to come to the realization that it is really, really not good for you to hear what they're up to.
No,
it's just not. Not going to do any good.
You have to have a clean cutoff. And that goes for, that goes for all kinds of different relationships. That goes for, friendships too. You can't have a bad falling out with a friend and then keep the similar friend groups around and keep hearing, like, you're just going to mess yourself up. There's no point.
And it makes it awkward for your mutual friends.
Yeah.
I had friends
make people pick sides.
I still do. I have friends.
So I was right. Send a text and leave town.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
I have friends that I'm close with and that I was close with back in the day, and then I had other guys that I had fallings out with or whatever, and it didn't happen very often. I remember one specific time where we were all hanging out, me and this friends group and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, we need to plan a trip and let's go down to what's his name's house down in L.A. because he lives in L.A. and stuff." And then everybody kind of like a few of the guys looked up at me and realized what they were saying, and they're like, "Oh, well, And I was like, yeah, I'm not going down there to see that fuck face. You know? And it was all of a sudden it was like, oh, fuck, this is awkward. Yeah. Because obviously Potter can't go because those two guys fucking hate each other. And so it was like, yeah, it's like that, right? Like it just makes it awkward for fucking everybody.
Yeah, it really does.
You're still better for it though. You're still better for it.
Yep.
I think it was Jocko. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but have the hard conversations earlier because they get harder the longer you let them go, the harder they get.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you know that you need to have it, you need to do it right now.
Yeah, that kind of thing is hard.
Gather your thoughts, figure out what the message is, and fucking have it.
Yeah, that's it. I've struggled with that because I just hate the drama. I hate the conflict. I just want everyone to be happy, and so I'll just kind of
Yeah, but I've been really trying to because I've seen examples of people in my professional life lately that are really good at having those conversations and really good at that conflict and everything, right? Like in a I mean, sometimes maybe it's not the most healthy thing and stuff, but I can look up to people that are really good at having conflict and kind of go, okay, yeah, I can be better at that. I can be more willing to go, no. You know what? I need to go talk to that motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not going to die.
It's not a natural, probably a survival instinct to avoid conflict as a knee jerk, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know if it's, but like the guy that I've mentioned before that I work with, that's from New York, right? It's a fucking, I don't know. It's super weird how that actually is true, that there's the West Coast and East Coast mentality thing, but he's an East Coast guy.
For sure.
Like, let me call this motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, no, I'm going, like, where's he at? Is he here right now? I'm going over there right now. Like, let's go fucking talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Yeah. So
I've been
West
trying Coast is very much
to
not
be
like
better
that.
about that. Yeah. And I'll pick up the phone or I'll walk over and I'll talk to someone and be like, all right, so what's going on? What are you talking about? What's the problem?
Yeah.
And I fucking have that goddamn conversation. Because in the past, it's like, it's painful, it's weird, it's awkward, you don't want to do it. It's like, no, you need to do it. It's good for you.
It's good for you, and it's a good muscle to continuously flex and exercise. And a lot of people have a hard time. A lot of people have a hard time being direct and speaking directly with people and still being empathetic, because a lot of people think you have to completely turn off your feelings and be a machine and just deliver news and then shut off and walk away. And you have to have an interaction. You have to be able to be empathetic and understand where someone's coming from and still be able to hold your resolve or whatever you want to call it of why you feel the way you feel in that interaction. I guess is the best way to put it.
And people respect you more too. There's a guy that I work with.
They might not like you, but they'll respect you more.
The guy I think I mentioned before is the total guru guy that I've been working with lately. That is
you can say my name.
Very brutal and honest with people. We were in a meeting one time there was a national business development manager guy, right? So he walks around and he comes to visit our branch, and everyone's like, "Ooh, the national guy."
Mm-hmm.
And then our branch GM, so he's a big fucking swinging dick too.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boss, who's like the sales manager guy. So it's like this is room full of all the heavy hitters and stuff. And then me and my other counterpart guy that's from New York. And then
the suits get more expensive as you go around the room.
Oh, completely.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. And they start talking about the specific product line that they want to push from corporate, right? Corporate's like, oh, we need to start selling this mass notification. It's like, okay, it's a very specific thing. And they're like, yeah, we need to start selling more national notification, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And they're all like sitting there fucking jerking each other off about this thing and stuff. They're like, yeah. So then they turn over and they look at us salespeople and they're like, so what do you guys find that and the guru guy that he's looking at all three of these guys with this look on his face, like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you idiots talking about? It was so fucking priceless. And then they're like, and he's like, well, because they're asking us, what do you think?
Yeah.
You know, what's the prospect look like for selling more of this stuff? You know, and he's like, I don't think that's an opportunity in this market at all. And all these guys are like, it's because you caught him.
Because you just see the wind. Like,
there was 60 to 90 seconds of them going, yeah, that was great. Yeah. Like talking about this shit. And he's like, no.
Yeah,
you guys are all fucking idiots.
We just justified this business trip. This is awesome.
And he didn't give a fuck that anybody was national how expensive their fucking suits were at all or anything. He was like, no, you guys are all idiots, and that's a dumb fucking idea.
That's how you have to be, though.
I fucking love
you. Really do.
That's how you have to be.
You really do.
And you have to be tactful about it. You don't have to be you can't tell them they're idiots.
No.
But you can say all the reasons why you think and that's
like, this isn't.
That's what makes you respected. And in the end, regardless of what people say, that's how you advance in the workplace.
Absolutely. I think that if you're learning how to do that, you know, if you haven't been good at that in your past and you're trying to get better at it, maybe you need to stop, like, before you go into a meeting like that, before you go to negotiate for a raise with your boss, before you have an argument with somebody, maybe you need to stop and really meditate. Almost.
Yeah, totally.
get yourself into like.
I know I need to get myself in a
because
mind
you get
space
surprised. I
sometimes
think
where
you just get surprised if you're not consciously thinking about it. You just go with the flow. You make the same old mistakes.
100%.
You fall into your old habits.
100%. It's like you're going to a football game or something, and you're fucking banging your head against a locker, getting psyched up. It's like it's kind of a similar thing where you have to go, no, okay, I'm this Aaron going into this meeting,
right?
And you're going, okay, now this is the mode I'm in. Fuck you, take no prisoners. All right, let's go. And you really
you have to have goals and you have to stay focused.
Yeah. So same with the breaking up conversation. You got to know who you're bringing to that conversation.
Yeah, this isn't barbecue, Aaron.
Yeah.
This is
savage corporate, Aaron.
Yeah, we're talking about money. We're talking about my work.
Mm-hmm. And in the same way, though, in the same way that you've got to be open to feedback in the breakup, in the workplace too. When you go into a meeting where you're going to, fill in the blank, you're going to leverage something for something else, really, because that's all it is. You're leveraging something for something else in a meeting. You really have to try and put yourself in everyone else's perspective first and try and anticipate what any feedback is going to be before you get it, so that you have a counter for it.
That's a good point.
That serves you better in the workplace, because if you're ready for feedback in a breakup and you come back with rebuttal, it's probably not going to make you look as good. In a workplace, if you can do that and not be defensive, but you can be confident, that's how you leverage.
I've definitely been in professional conversations where I didn't anticipate.
Yeah,
the feedback that came back at me, and I was like, "Whoa!" And then you're blindsided.
That's what makes it a chess game.
You're weak. You're back on your heels.
Chess game.
Not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't always. I mean, that's what we learn. You don't always anticipate everything that someone's going to have.
No.
But if you can anticipate that, and you go, well, you know what? I thought about that when you fill in the blank, and it made me think of this, and you come back with something that okay. And if there's still something there, then either your answer wasn't good enough or they have another part B to that question. But you should be able to kind of nip that and then move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. If you're in that good, but it is different in a breakup. You don't want to command the room in a breakup necessarily.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
You just have to be able to be done with the conversation.
Be focused,
cut it off,
be vulnerable,
walk away.
Yeah. It's
be firm.
So this I was not going to say it.
Do not do the one more time thing.
Yeah.
Don't do the breakup sex. Don't do the one.
That's not fair to her.
How about one more? Don't ever, 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 ever do that, kids. Ever.
Breakup sex?
Yeah. Don't ever do that.
I wasn't going to say it, but Jordan Peterson. There we go.
It's been a few weeks.
At some point when you're having conversations.
He coughed.
Oh shit! There it is.
We're now
quarantine time.
Quarantine.
When you're having a professional conversation, or I guess a personal one too, and stuff, you have to be willing to say no. And what does that no really mean, right? And he brings it, of course, in a Jordan Peterson style. He goes all the way down to the bottom. He goes, it basically means I'm refusing to do something. And at the end of all of this, there's not a goddamn thing you're going to say or do that's going to make me do it. And it could possibly come to physical confrontation. So what the fuck are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a thing,
That's the no.
You need to be willing to have that kind of backbone behind your no. Like,
dude,
this is a serious.
That's a really good way to describe it. Go ahead, Ira.
This happened the other day. It was a situation, and afterwards, of course, I regretted it because I got really surprised on this one. I'm in this room. I'm on a construction site, but I'm in this tiny room all by myself. There's no heavy equipment in here. Obviously, I'm up on a ladder. I was burning up. It was hot in there. I take off I had a hoodie and a vest on top. I just took off the whole thing. So I did not have high vis on anymore. I had a hard hat, safety glasses, boots, everything else.
Get them off the job site.
Your sweaty chest and back were glistening because you were working shirtless on this.
Slow down.
My sultry shoulders and arms were. So the company safety guy shows up, and he peeks in.
Your company
from the GC.
Sorry, yeah.
From the general.
Those guys are always such fucking cocksuckers,
and they show up at that time.
Like, hey, those steel toe. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I had to walk out to my van. I grabbed my vest. I put it on. And I walked to my van. This is how. Okay. This is
So you're
understand
playing the
rules.
game. Yeah, you're playing the game.
I go in this room. I take it off. I'm by myself. Nobody can see me at all, much less see me better or worse. There's nobody in there.
You could forget to put it on when you leave the room.
Maybe. So this guy peeks into the room, and I look at him. I'm like, hey. And you already know.
And you go, oh.
He didn't. He's a fucking cunt.
Because he won't say anything.
So he just looks at me, and he walks away, and I'm like, that was a fucking safety guy.
Yep.
Sure as shit. I walk out. He doesn't say a word. He makes the superintendent go, hey man, you got to wear your high vis. And I'm like,
Spineless.
I'm wearing it because I walked out. And it's when I watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? When I'm in there, he's like, everywhere. And I'm like,
It was either safety guy or cop for that dude.
Yeah.
That was their career choice.
Yeah.
So the thought that I had.
And he failed the test.
Yeah, he failed out of the academy.
Absolutely. He was a hall monitor back in school.
Oh God.
So after I'm pissed, dude. You know, because that shit just, fuck you.
Of course.
So I'm like,
as you have every right
I had
to
the
be.
thought. Yeah, I had the thought later.
Kill him.
Especially in this case, most of the time, I am a very high demand worker. I'm there by myself.
Sex worker.
For one. Very high demand. I make a lot of money. I'm there by myself.
Yeah.
I have the fire system disabled.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct. As you're working, it takes a lot to have you there, and while your apparatus is running, there's a lot of shit that's
and it would be a huge inconvenience for them to kick me off the job.
Correct.
So why didn't I just look at that guy and go, no, and then just walk? What's he gonna do?
Yeah,
you're gonna be like, hey, you're gonna leave. I'm like, I'll leave. It's fine with me. You really want me to leave? And just start grabbing my stuff.
You'll get the
By
call
the way,
from Ben.
Your fire system is disabled. Good luck getting it, filled back up. Just call someone and tell them you've got an emergency and have someone come out and fill it back up again. Go right ahead. You want to be here until 6 o'clock tonight? See you later.
You could have.
I would have felt great. I would have been proud of myself. I just think that it's like, because all I'm really doing is I'm forcing this guy to see. Now, not that he's going to change his ways at all.
I was just going to say, what's your end result? What's your goal?
I at least want him to know that I think that his stupid rules make no sense whatsoever. You are not making me safer. You're being an idiot. I mean, after he left, the superintendent came to me. He's like, yeah, sorry about that, man. That guy's kind of a douche.
Well, because he's trying to keep peace too.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck, I got to go back in there and
And he was on a job walk, a final. The fire chief had final they're moving in. There are employees in here. They've got furniture everywhere.
Occupancy. Yeah.
So they go to do a final check-in. Punch list is good. They're talking,
like a courtesy almost.
Golf shirts and loafers. And he doesn't, he that's what he has on, a golf shirt. He's got his boots and everything, but it says the company logo and stuff, and he doesn't have his high vis on. And the guy's like, where the fuck is your vest? And he's like, you're kidding me, right? And he's like, no, that's the company rule. I mean, it's like, no, it doesn't make common fucking sense, you moron. At what point do you go, well, that's stupid. Obviously, I'm not gonna. No, it's just like, this is this, and that's the way it's like, dude.
I wonder though sometimes if that's somebody that's on the spectrum that found a job.
Maybe.
Sure, I'm not even kidding.
Rules.
Yeah, somebody that's like,
Big
they
time.
love that person in that job because that person doesn't ever waver, and although it's a little goofy, they will always adhere to company rules or always enforce a policy.
Yeah,
I think that's where somebody that has that type of skill or that type of, that whatever you want to call it,
it's like
can find a positive for it. Probably.
It's like the president of Little Wheels Quarter Midget Association.
I don't. It's inside.
You don't know that person.
Rules.
This person is very much that way. Rules have to be followed.
Yeah.
That's why they're there 100% of the time.
Or there's those people that have zero control in any aspect of their life, and they get in charge of a PTA or they get in charge of something and like, no, God damn it, this is my moment and I'm the boss here.
Yeah,
so there's those people too.
And in that person's defense, if you don't just adhere to the rules, it's different, I think, in that way, because there are people who are they will make that person's life a living hell because they'll go, hey, why didn't you blah, blah, blah. And that has happened many times because this is stiff competition. This isn't just you doing your thing and me doing mine and we're working, this is like huge competition. These people are very competitive. I mean, they're going after championships here. Somebody breaks a little rule, they're not going to go, well, yeah, I mean, did they really gain a competitive advantage? Yeah, probably not. It's all good. No, they're going to go, no. And they're going to cause a shitstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And that person doesn't want that. It probably had it happen 20 fucking times already. Mm-hmm. So I kind of understand that. It's kind of just the way that person has to be.
Right.
When they're in that position of leadership.
Sounds like there's more to that story.
Well, dude, it's like Little League baseball. The parents are just way too overbearing, and they're yelling at the coach. Why isn't my kid playing? It's the same. It's the same. It's hyper competitive.
Every generation.
I am a 4th grade basketball head coach. If you guys didn't already know this,
I did not know that.
God help you.
I didn't think you could be close to kids.
Yeah, well, they kind of turned a blind eye to that.
Fair enough.
They dropped those charges.
Yeah. So I got pressured into it because I was helping coaching last year and stuff. And and then the guy from the fucking Parks and Rec was like, "Oh,
you're in the system now."
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We're low on guys. Can you help out? Can you be the head coach this year?" And I was like, "All right, fine, fuck." So I'm thanklessly going about this fucking bullshit deal just for the kids, and making sure that everybody, gets the email that I have to send out to 25 fucking parents and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, in this scenario, and always, there are a group of kids that are pretty physically talented,
mm-hmm.
and then there are another.
Oh,
group
here we go. There's like 3 tiers. Yeah, there's some that are okay, and then there's some that are just dog shit, no matter what. And
they're
there because their parents want to put down the iPad. They go play a sport.
Yeah. As per usual, at least one of the kids that are really bad, in addition to being really bad,
I know where you're going.
Also has a fucking terrible attitude problem.
Mm-hmm. And a parent who thinks he should play more.
So that kid never sees the fucking court.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, kid. You haven't fucking earned it, right?
Yep.
But no, it's 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's supposed to have the same amount of playing time.
The same blue chips.
It needs to be fair. Fair. So we go through a game last week where, for the most part, I sub kids in and out, and everybody pretty much gets fair playing time. Because, at the end of the day, it's 4th grade basketball, and I don't care that much about winning. I want
You're on
kids
your phone
to
anyway.
have. No, it's not quite that bad. But for the most part, I'm with you. I'm
having a Facebook debate.
Yeah. We're not playing for a state championship here. Right.
Not yet.
So kids get it. Yeah. Everyone pretty much gets the same amount of playing time.
Yeah.
Except for last week. Because last week we were hanging in there. It was like 8-8 at halftime with this team that smoked us a few weeks before.
Oh, so now you're engaged. Shit, we might actually
get a chance. So
hey, shitty kid, you're not going in. Go sit down.
So me and my buddy, who's the assistant coach, was like, "Hey, we need speed out there right now. We need speed. Let's keep all the guards." Jesus Christ, this corona is killing me. We need speed, so we're going to keep 5 guards in the game, take all the posts out. So every tall kid came out of the game, and we didn't hardly play him at all for like the whole 4th quarter. Tristan is a huge kid, so he plays post. He didn't play hardly at all. At the end of the game,
your own kid.
Yeah, Don was like, "How come you didn't play Tristan?" I was like, "Oh, I guess I didn't notice." But yeah, we were trying something, and so. But I get an email from a parent.
Oh.
After this game, hey, so I should actually read the fucking thing on. It's on my other phone. But.
Yeah, you should read their email address too.
Yeah.
And give their home address.
It's this whole thing where it's like, hey, he only played a total of 2 minutes in the entire second half. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, so did my kid. Big fucking deal.
Was it that kid's parent?
The kid who has 0 talent.
Yeah.
And has an attitude problem.
It was that parent?
Yeah.
Oh. You didn't even respond.
Wonderful.
Then, right?
Oh, I did.
Oh, I don't know.
So here's what pisses me off even more about
I'll just pretend I didn't get it. And then did you get my email? Oh, it might be in my spam box. I'll look.
I probably should have. But no, because I'm a nice person.
Keep it pushing.
he basically calls me out for not playing his kid, and I respond back in an email and I say, Mr. So-and-so, I totally understand.
Oh,
I hear where you're coming
that's
from.
where you fucked up.
I really do. I've been in your shoes, bud. I totally get it. I'm going to try better to make sure that everyone gets even playing time. But hear me out, though. Here's why such and so happened to your kid, and this is why.
And your kid sucks.
And I laid out the most eloquent and heartfelt fucking email to this fucking cunt that you could possibly imagine. And I'm like, I hope, at the end of it, I hope we all the shit that you're supposed to say. That's just so fucking nice. And this fucking douchebag emails me back.
Okay.
After I
just okay.
No, he goes, well, I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed with your response.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh, now you fucking done.
Aaron's like, I'm never coaching again, and I don't care. Here
so obviously,
Strap
what
in.
did he? So I'm trying to think back and stuff because now it's just funny to me and stuff. So I like thinking like, okay, what is this guy like? I'm getting into his head. Like, what was he all about here, right? And I'm thinking, since I responded back with, "This is nice guy, Aaron. Here's where my thoughts." He thought, okay, nice guy, Aaron.
Yep.
I'm gonna fucking because I'm the tough guy
I'm
here.
the dominant one.
If I would have responded back with,
I'm the pack
hey,
leader.
fuckface,
Yeah.
which is what I eventually did anyway, right?
Hey, fuckface.
He would have been like, oh, but since I responded nice guy, he was like, yeah, well, I'm not real happy with that response, and maybe you should fucking do this and that,
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, how about this? So then I responded back again, and I was like, this will be the last email because now once I go here and there's no coming back, and I was like, this is a unpaid volunteer position. It's a rather thankless job. I don't have any help at all. I have no time to coach your bratty freaking kids and everything else.
I don't even make myself a trophy.
And I said, yeah, what did I say? I said, congratulations. You successfully taken what's already a thankless job and taken all the fun out of it. Sweet. I said, maybe you should go talk to
shame goes a long way
to the Parks and Rec guy and lobby to have me fired. And then after you have me fired, you can come coach, volunteer your own fucking time and coach these kids yourself. Because I don't freaking love this goddamn job anyway. Doing it out of the kindness of my heart.
Aaron just went all Brockmeyer on him.
Dude, yeah, it was hilarious. And then he didn't email back.
Yeah, you don't have a job anymore as a coach.
And then at practice, oh yeah, totally.
You're probably like, please fire me.
Yeah,
I mean, what?
I don't give two fucks at all. It's like, I'm
do.
doing this out of the kindness of my heart, and your kid is a little prick. And yeah, he didn't get playing time and stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry. Maybe you should teach your kid, if he doesn't like the situation he's in with regard to playing time, you should probably figure out a way to earn more.
Hustle
harder. No, you don't want to do that because instead you just think, I'm going to stick up for my kid and everything needs to be fair. No, well, guess what? It's not fucking fair. And you're not doing your fucking kid any favors either.
I don't know that you can ever win. If someone takes the time to email a volunteer coach, there's no winning that. There's no.
So
there's
you're
winning.
a fucking prick. And so then, then at practice, I was like, and at the end of my email, I was like, I'll see you Wednesday. Like, no, I want to see you in person. You fucking asshole.
Aaron like sidestepped and then just came back with the uppercut, like boom.
Yeah. Like, no, I tried to be nice.
Yeah.
And then you came back with, I'm not real. Okay, well, guess what then? But he showed up at practice and stuff, and I saw him make eye contact with like for a split second, and then he just like dodged me and went, and I was like, oh, here we go. I got you now, you son of a bitch.
I'm in charge.
That's what I thought.
So then I marched over there and I was like, are you Joe? Because I didn't even know what the guy fucking looked like. I'm like, you're Joe, right? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, the guy with the emails. He goes, yeah. I was like, cool, nice to meet you. And I was like, so are we good here? What's going on, Joe?
Fuck yeah.
And
it's so gangster. I'm so proud of you.
Oh no, it was great. It was so great. You could just tell he was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that there's no, it's
like,
fine.
I just don't, I just have a different philosophy. I'm like, yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah,
it's
like, called not coaching.
Agree to disagree, I suppose. Huh? He goes, yeah. I said, so you don't think like there's a merit thing going on here at all? Like certain kids earn certain, it's like, hey, listen, I want to be fair. I know it's fourth grade and everything, but you don't think that there's no. I think it all should just be I do a lot of this stuff, the intramural sports or whatever it is, or and
Oh, really? Not this one.
I lose a lot of games, but everyone plays the same. And I was like, well, I guess that's where we differ.
How many YMCA's are named after you? None? Then shut the fuck up and go home.
Yeah. I was like, yep.
Are you some like revolutionary kids coach? No, fuck off then.
Yeah. You didn't coach LeBron James.
I think we know what today's episode is called. Aaron needs a nap.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, folks. There's a good place. Ira, I think you're going to have to transition from Misogyny Corner to racing updates or something.
Yeah.
Something, because the misogyny's gone.
Yep.
We need like maybe you turn it into like dating advice with Ira.
Had this happen.
Yeah.
Like, some column. You need like a Dear Abby.
Well, the
Dear
last 2
Ira.
episodes, I have talked about legendary people with substance abuse,
Womanizing
addicts.
Yeah.
Okay, we can keep the thread going then.
Ira's legendary hero among men.
I love it.
All right, folks. Have a good week.
Bye.
Dude, that's fucking awesome that you did
killed
that. That was probably the best part of the whole season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's that man.
Yeah,
It feels so good
I know.
to just own somebody like that.
Story. I was really hoping that you